Hello everyone, Running Wild here, back with a new tutorial. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you for the folks that commented and liked and whatnot. The last tutorial, the support was really nice and awesome to see, and I know folks have been eagerly awaiting to see another tutorial and to go hopefully a little bit more in depth. So that is the goal today, is to go more in depth with a full build of a jersey. In this case, it's going to be a uniform set, so that's going to be helmet, jersey, pants, socks, as well as changing the color of the player equipment so that it matches and whatnot. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and get started and follow along. If you get confused or whatnot, I will try to put time codes or other little stops and transitions if I can figure that out, so that it'll be easier to follow in different sections. So to start off with, we just want to make sure we have a new project and we're ready to go. So the first thing that we are going to be covering is going to be how to bring in new colors to a jersey, and I'm going to show you the best and most capable way to do that, and the way that ultimately is going to give you the best overall results. So first and foremost, we're going to need to have a jersey to work on. So I'm actually going to work on the Buffalo Bills. I've been really wanting to rebuild that off of my Madden 25 design, which is what you see right here. This is it all splayed out as a single PNG. But we'll use this as a reference for our colors and for some of the designs. Do not worry if you don't have these exact assets. I just have stuff already ready to go, but we won't worry about that too much. Alright, so first thing we need to do is we need to get to our jersey. So, if we remember, for jerseys, or just for all of the uniform parts that we're going to be working on in the compiler system, you go to Content, Characters, Player, Parts, Uniforms. And since we're going to start with the jerseys, we'll go to Jerseys, NFL, and Part Items. And now we're just going to scroll on down. So the one we're working with, this is the Bills jersey 2024 blue. This is the jersey we're going to be working with. If you're ever confused about which jersey goes for what set, if you actually roll on down here a little bit, you'll find this football characters tab, or football character tab. If you go down, open that up, and then go to uniform visuals, NFL, we'll just click on the Bills here. So if you click on current home and click on uniform and these loadout elements, this shows basically what the elements that are used in the final project, in the final product, what you will see in game. So in this case, we're using the 2011 white helmet, the 2024 blue jersey, the 2024 blue pants, along with the 2012 blue-white socks, and then the last parts are for the shoes, which they use white primary. We're not going to mess with that part, but so if you're ever like, oh, which jersey is it, which pants do I need to work on or mess with, this is where you're going to find them. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go back up here. So we've gone to part items, and we've selected our Bills jersey. So I already have it open here, but I'll go ahead and come back here. What we're also going to do is come over to this bundles tab. It sometimes doesn't show up. Just click another tab and come back over. We're going to copy this part here. So Control C. We're going to go down here to the View tab and click Bundle Editor. So this is actually what allows us to add and subtract parts from the bundle. If we go back to the analogy I used in the first video, this is your pantry. This is your storeroom. This is where all of the ingredients that you could use for your jersey need to be, so that when the actual compiler recipe calls upon them, they'll be able to use them. If they're not in the bundle, they're not going to show up properly. So we'll go up here, we'll click on this drop-down tab, and we'll go to Blueprint Bundles. It'll take a second to load, and that's okay. And we'll just copy and paste this in here. So, and then make sure to click on this, and now we are currently in this open bundle. And again, if you click on all these tabs here and you drop down all these menus, this will tell you what's already in. So in this case, since we're starting with color, we can see, oh, we have all of these colors that are already in here. So what we're going to be wanting for our colors is a new darker steel blue, which is this blue right here, and a new version of red. And since some of these colors, such as Marine, Old Royal, and University Red, are actually used by many different teams, we want to make sure to create our own. So what we're going to do here is we'll go back to blue jerseys here. We're going to go to our layer composition menu, and we're going to open up our materials. So material 1 through 6 need to be open. This is going to change the baseline material color of the jerseys, so that'll be under tint. And as you can see, since this is the blue home jersey, Old Royal is the baseline color for everything that we see here. So we'll go ahead and open all these up here. Next, I'm going to go all the way over here to the right to these 3 dots here. I'm just going to click Find in Data Explorer. So what this has done is this is found in the Data Explorer where team colors are being kept, which is actually under the Content Shared file tab here. And then it more or less follows the same characters, player parts, and so on. But typically, you can use the Find in Data Explorer to make it just a little quicker. So we're not going to use the Old Royal. We're going to make a new color. So we're going to go ahead and right-click, and then we're going to click Duplicate. So this is going to create a whole new color value asset that we can utilize that will be in the team colors and will be selectable in the jersey. So I'm going to call this Niagara Steel. All right. So give it a moment. This will all take, and if you've never done this before, if this is kind of the first time, it might take a little bit of time to load. Don't worry about that. Just give it its time. So now we have Niagara Steel is a color value that we can utilize. Let's go ahead and open that up, and let's go ahead and modify this real quick. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and save this. I already have a project file name right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and save it there. We're going to go to Tools, and we're going to click on Frostbite Colorizer. Anytime you're using this colorizer right here, this can convert RGB values to the XYZ numerical values. Every once in a while, when you're copy and pasting to and from this thing, it will wig out and cause your editor to crash. So good rule of thumb is if you're going to mess with this, go ahead and save your file first. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go back over here. So again, I'm using this currently just to pull the colors. So we'll go ahead and get our blue here and do the RGB to XYZ. Now we have our numerical values that we can plug in. So we'll just copy and paste those in. And now this color here, Niagara Steel, will show up as this dark blue hue, and we can use it in our jerseys, but we have to do one more step. We have to add it to the bundle for the jersey, but not just the jersey. Every element that we're going to have, whether it's the helmet, pants, socks, you name it, and whether it's home or away, if it's going to use this specific color, you need to make sure to add it to the bundle. So we've already opened up the bundle for the jersey, so I'm just going to take Niagara Steel here, just going to make sure we have that highlighted, We'll get rid of this here. We'll just click Add to Bundle, and hey, there we go. We have it in. So next I'm going to do the same thing for the socks and for the pants, just so that we can get all of that out of the way. And we will also create a new red color. So what we'll do now, actually first let's create that new red color. So we were using University Red. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate that, and we'll call this, we'll just call it Buffalo Red. Why not? Buffalo Crimson. There you go. Okay, so we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing we just did with the Niagara Steel color. We will use the colorizer, and we will pull, in this case, we're going to pull this color right here. Let's see, we'll pull this red right here. And obviously, you do not have to do this. You can use the colors that are already in the jersey set. You can use colors from a different team if you want. This is just for the results that I'm looking for. This is what I'm going to do, and if you're following along, this will just kind of help make things a little bit more streamlined. So do that. All right, so now this Buffalo Crimson, it'll look like this, and again, we need to add this to the bundle. So we'll go back to the bundle editor. You can go away now, and boom. Now we have both the Niagara Steel and the Buffalo Crimson. We still have the original colors if we want to either revert to those or just use those instead. So we want to make sure also to add this to the helmet, the pants, and the socks, so that when we change colors in there, those will all come together and work properly. So we're going to go back up here to Content, Characters, Player, Parts, Uniforms, and now I'm just going to go to Helmets real quick, NFL, Part Items. Okay, and if we remember, looking at home, the helmet that the Bills wear is listed as the 2011 white helmet. So we will go to down here, we'll scroll down, Bills, and there's the 2011 white helmet. So I'm going to go ahead and open this as well, and we're going to grab the bundle right quick, copy and paste. There we go, hit enter, and now we'll just click on this, and then we're going to do the same exact thing. If you go up here to this portion where it says modified and click it, this will basically just collapse down everything to just the assets that you have modified. It makes it a little quicker and simpler to jump back and forth from different file types, as you're going to have to do a lot of that. So again, we're going to take the Niagara Steel, we're going to add that, and the Buffalo Crimson. As you can see, some of these colors automatically get added. If you use a color like I did with the Old Royal University as your baseline for your duplicate, it tends to automatically add that to the bundle since it's already in there. But when in doubt, go ahead and specifically add them to the bundle just to make sure that it comes up correctly. Okay, so we're gonna do that for the pants, and we're gonna do it for the socks. So pants, and with these, these are the 2024 blue pants, and then the 2012 blue and white socks. So we will get the pants right quick here. 2024 blue pants. So sometimes these things can be a little funky. They have sometimes different names that you're not expecting. Most likely, and if you just kind of dig into them, you'll find them. But when in doubt, go with what looks the most correct. In this case, I already know this one's the blue-red because I've worked on this jersey before. So, and we'll just go ahead and do the same thing over again. And right quick, I'm also going to grab the socks. Let's see. So with that, we're going to look, just double check. So that's blue, white, and here we see blue, white, red. That would be our socks that we're going to go with there. So we'll just click on that. So we have all of these now available to us, and we'll make sure to add the colors to the bundles, as they don't always show up every time in every way. So put that, we'll get that going here in just a second. The tricky part is you need to make sure to remember to grab the bundles, the bundle files, otherwise then you have to go back and you have to do it all over again here. Okay, let's see, blue-red, we'll go with that. Okay, so we got that in there, awesome. And we will go ahead and add Buffalo Crimson and Niagara Steel again. Those have popped up automatically. If they don't automatically pop in, just make sure to click one and then the other. They almost always do, so we're just going to keep moving forward. Okay, so and then we'll just do the same thing with the socks. And whenever you're working on jerseys, especially if you're going to be doing new colors for pretty much the entire jersey set, a good rule of thumb is to just go into every part that you're going to work on, whether it's the jersey, helmet, whatever. Go to every one of them and add the colors to the bundles. It just helps to eliminate some work later on, and that way you know that, hey, you can replace all of the colors, and that kind of gets you about halfway there already with what you're attempting to do in terms of a full rebuild. So we'll go ahead and add the Crimson, and it automatically added the Niagara Steel. So now our home blue jersey, home blue pants, blue socks, and the white helmet These all now have the Buffalo Crimson and Niagara Steel available as colors to use in their their recipe systems. So we'll start with the jersey here. So again, we're going to be starting with the materials here, and we will leave the overlays. We'll leave the overlays for a little bit later, but we'll start here first. So I'm just going to highlight that, and you can just click the arrow, and it's in. And we'll just go ahead and set that for all of these guys right here. All right. And typically, whenever I'm going to do a color replacement, I will go through and I will look at every overlay, big or small, and make sure that any one that says, in this case, Old Royal, is going to get replaced with the Niagara Steel. So we'll just go ahead and open up and see. Nope, don't need to change that. Say we'll go ahead and change this here. And also, since we're changing to the Buffalo Crimson, we'll get rid of the University Red. Okay, that's the Navy shoulder stripe. We're not going to mess with this one just yet. I will show you where we're going with that later. But for now, with the Navy shoulder stripes, we'll just ignore those. Okay, red shoulder stripe, white shoulder stripe, don't need to mess with those. Stitches. Stitches are the actual physical stitches in the seams of the jerseys. That's also something you're going to want to change the color so that it matches the baseline color of the jersey. There's a few other weird things in here that we're going to have to change that are specific to the Buffalo Bills, but we'll go over that in a little bit more detail later. So, like collar stripe, University Red, collar stripe, Marine, we'll leave that for now. Collar fix, Old Royal, that's going to need to change. NFL logo and chest logo, both of those can be left alone. Okay, so we've got everything in here that we need to change over in terms of color. We can do that. So again, anything that's Old Royal is now going to become Niagara Steel. Anything that is University Red is going to become Buffalo Crimson. And we'll just kind of go bit by bit, layer by layer, replacing things and making sure that it fits. Now again, this is not going to be the final result, but this is just to illustrate how the color changing works and what the result will be once you've done all of that. Okay. Buffalo Crimson, and we'll just double check that we got it all. Okay, so the jersey, at least color-wise, should now be dark. Should now be this dark color, and the shoulder stripes or the sleeve stripes, however you want to refer to it, will be this color along with white and that marine color. But again, we're not going to focus so much on the marine color. All right, so now we will do the same thing for the helmet. So we'll open up the layer comp. Now we're going to retain the helmet's shell color. So where you can typically find shell color is usually either in the reference tab if you have it highlighted, or if you come down here to layer comp and look at material 1, sometimes you'll see that they use textures, the texture being red and red, and then you see they're already using a specified color for that. If I wanted the shell to be Niagara Steel, I could just plug that in right there. I'm not going to do that, but we will change the face mask color. So we can leave that. The other materials in here, and if you look at how they're at their display names, they're going to cover other parts of the helmet, such as the bumpers on the front and back of the helmet, the chin strap, the chin guard in and of itself. So you can actually change those if you want to different colors, or you can even, by editing the roughness, smoothness, metalness files here in the RSM, you can also make those so those are maybe metallic or matte blue or whatever. We're not going to focus on that for now. So what we're going to first do is we're going to go down here to face mask material setting. So currently the face mask color is set to global off-white helmet shell. We're just going to go ahead and change that to Niagara Steel. So it'll be a white helmet shell with a kind of dark blue face mask. And then we're going to check all of our overlays right here. Looks like Old Royal and University Red. So again, we're just going to go ahead and replace all of those. So these will be the actual like word marks that will be on the bumpers. Not every team uses bumper word marks. Some, like the Chiefs, don't have any on the front. You can typically add some if you want, and I will show you how you do that. But for now, we're just going to focus on changing over colors. Okay, so Old Royal, and then so 5. So these are the stripes. Warning label, you can ignore that. American flag, you can ignore that. NFL decal, you can ignore that. Side logos, and here we go. Okay, so now we're just going to change the color for the stripes. So again, okay, so this University Red and Old Royal, so that's gone. That's now Niagara Steel. We'll leave the Marine alone for now. And then we come over here to our, these are going to be the side logos. So if we actually open up our textures right quick here, this is your helmet logo, and as you can see, these are palletized. So you're using red, green, and blue to basically have the computer tell the system, hey, when you're putting everything together in this specific texture file, this specific PNG, these colors here are going to coordinate on the helmet to these tints right here. So anywhere in this, so we'll go to Buffalo Crimson here, we'll get the Niagara Steel, and we'll leave the white there. So what'll happen is, again, similar to the CID on the jersey, this is going to say, hey, this portion right here, this needs to be Buffalo Crimson. The green, that needs to be Niagara Steel, and this blue, this needs to be white. So this way now all of the colors in the helmet will now be consistent with the colors that you're going to see on the jersey. So we'll just do the same thing for the pants. Pants, you're going to find your base materials are going to be material number 1, which is going to cover the vast majority of the pants. And then material 3 here, you can ignore material 2. Material 3 here, that is the belt. So you can have an off-color belt if you want. You can have it all be the same. That's up to you on that one. For the heck of it, let's go ahead and put Buffalo Crimson. It'll stand out, and that way also you can just see kind of how that works. Then we'll go back down here to overlays. Seams, do they have a tint? Global white, we can ignore that. Nike logo, we can ignore that. NFL logo, we can ignore that. Stripe panel. Navy stripes, we can ignore those for now. White stripes, we can ignore those. Red stripes, we're going to need to work with that. Side logos, we're going to want to work with that. Side logo. Okay. So we got all of that going here. So stripe panel, we'll go ahead to our tint. And again, we're going to replace everything here. There goes the Niagara Steel. Here's our red stripe. We will hit that with the Buffalo Crimson. And then now we have our little side logos that are about hip height or so. Do the same thing. So if this sounds tedious to you guys listening and following along, that's because it is tedious. It's a lot of replacing stuff. It's not quite as straightforward as it may have been when we were working with these big PNG files that would drape over it. But the results are worth it and whatnot. So we've done that. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the socks. Material 1, tint, Old Royal. Just pull the Niagara Steel, throw that in there. So now those are good to go. The last thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to change the item palette for the palette for the specific item, in this case the jersey, which will affect the gear that the players wear, their primary and secondary colors for gloves and sleeves and whatnot. So we're going to turn off modified here. So back in content here, if you roll all the way back down right here to football character, and then you're going to go to items, uniform, jersey, and we'll just go down here to the Bills. So we're working with the 2024 blue jersey, so we're going to pop that open right quick here. Okay, and then you just roll down here to item palette. So primary color and secondary color, so these are going to be, like I said, the color of the sleeves and the gloves and whatnot. So real quick, since we're going to have to be copying and pasting some files and numbers here, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save real quick. So we want our primary color to be Niagara Steel, so we'll just copy and paste the values in there real quick. And then we're going to do the same thing here with the Buffalo Crimson for the red. All right. So now we are ready to send this thing off into the game and to check our work. So I will see you guys on the other side of that, and we will also discuss if things didn't properly, come together, where you might be able to find some issue, where you might be able to find things that have gone missing. But for now, let's hit it. All right. We are back. Now we are in game, and we can take a look at what we've been able to achieve. So players in uniforms, and we're going to roll on up to the Buffalo Bills and see their home jersey. And as you can see, hey, everything changed except for the socks. That happens. We'll take a second and we'll try to find out where that may have gone wrong, and we'll try to fix that. But as you can see with the jerseys here, the new red is in, the new steel blue is in. We haven't done anything with the numbers, the chest mark, or anything like that. But what you effectively see here is the wholesale change of the colors in this jersey set. And if we go over to the away, you can see because those have not been assigned and put into the actual recipe in the bundle, currently the away jersey is still utilizing the old royal blue color. That's not that big a deal. And again, we will go and see, okay, so clearly we selected the wrong socks. We're going to have to go and find the right ones. Sometimes it's just like that. So, and if you scroll through again and look, the rest of them don't have them, but oh, hey, look. Now we see where our socks ended up. Looks like we just effectively selected the wrong ones. No big deal. We can go back and we can fix that. Sometimes it can be a little bit troublesome to find what you're looking for. So let's go ahead and back out. And we will see where exactly those socks are so we can change them and get them fixed up. So first and foremost, just going to click Modified here. And we're going to go back to these socks here. So we don't want these socks specifically to look like that. All you have to do is select it, right-click, and then click Revert. And we'll go back up to the current uniform and just see, like, okay, so clearly that's not saying what it's supposed to say, or maybe they just have things set up a little differently. So we're just going to go find that right quick here and see if we can't get that fixed. All right, so socks, Bills. All right. And we'll just kind of look through here and see, okay, is there something I missed? Possibly the blue, red, white socks could be it. Sometimes this is a little bit of trial and error. It's a little frustrating, but, hey, that's just life for you. We also can sometimes look things up and try to see, like, okay, maybe we're just missing something. So go Bills 2012 blue, white. Just see what shows up. Okay, so this is the item palette here. So similarly to where we found the palette for our jersey, this is the actual selection here. So for the socks. So if we look, it's actually pulling its material from the Cowboys 2012 blue-white color. So in order for us to change the color of the socks in the Bills jerseys, we'd actually have to go and modify the Cowboys socks, which, yeah, we're not going to do that. We'll just take a little shortcut, and we'll find another set of socks in the Bills that we can utilize instead. This is unfortunately just kind of how some of this stuff goes. It's just a quirk of the system, and it's a quirk of how the developers put things back together. So I think what we'll do is, since we were already using those blue, white, and red socks, we'll just go ahead and sacrifice those for the sake of the color that we want to have. So let's go back to socks up here, to the part item socks. And we'll see, we're going to go with blue, white, red. Now, because this still has, this bundle here still has the Niagara Steel and the red in there, we do not have to add it back to the bundle. If you take it out of the bundle, which you can actively choose to do, then you would have to do that again. So we'll just come back here and we'll add the old, we'll get rid of the old Royal again, and we will add the Niagara Steel, and then we'll reassign it in the uniform compiler here. So back to Niagara Steel, and then we will come over here to football character. We have to hit unmodify here because we are going to have to make some changes. And we will go down to uniform visuals here, NFL, Bills. So if I remember correctly, so we're working on the home. I believe that was an Anniversary Classic, I believe was the loadout for that. So we'll just take a look here and we see if we can't find it. Blue, white, red. Okay. So we're just going to copy and paste this right here from in this case, it's the current alternate classic. We're just going to copy and paste the socks here over the socks here. Do a quick save here. And now we will double check our work in game. All right, now we're back and we're going to just take a look real quick here and make sure that we got the socks fixed the way that we want them to look. And there you have it. The socks have been assigned from the that other jersey and will fit in here, and we can assign them into the loadouts of, say, if we wanted to do it where you had as you see, like this away option, if you wanted to, say, have those dark blue socks in there as well, you could do that. A lot of different ways. But as you can see, it was a lot of work to switch out to not only, you have to create the colors and then you have to add them to the bundles and change out everything, but the ultimate effect is pretty sweet. And if you're looking to do just some more basic editing and some more basic work on your jerseys, maybe you just want to change the color scheme, maybe you just want to just make some small changes here, editing the color is a really great way to do that, as it has a lot of impact with a fairly minimal amount of actual work you need to do. And as we just take a little closer look here, you can see just how all of the colors went in. And then, of course, if you see where just below the white or the red stripes and whatnot, you see that's that marine color, that kind of dark navy. Again, in this part of the tutorial, we're not going to worry about that. We will remove that later since we don't need that in our jersey. But for now, we will leave that alone. And as you can see also, if you look at the numbers, the color red there is a little bit darker shade. That's because we didn't change the color in the numbers. We'll cover that in a separate portion when we're talking specifically about changing numbers and changing the number font and how the coloring works on that. But if we keep going down here, you can see that, all of the equipment also matches now in terms of color. The side logo there on the pants is now also matching. Same thing with the one there right behind the helmet on the back of the collar there. So that's how you ultimately do color. There are some other workarounds for it, but ultimately this is the most consistent way to do it and the easiest way to do it. But for now, that's where we're going to leave off, at least with this section. When we come back, we will be looking at stripes, decals, and other portions of the jersey that really makes it stand out. We'll also see how that affects the helmets, but the helmets I'm probably going to do a little bit more in-depth on their own. Same with the numbers and whatnot, as we'll do a little bit more in-depth on how that all works together. But for now, I thank you for your time. Please be sure to share this in the Madden modding community or with anyone that has shown interest in learning how to mod Madden, specifically Madden 26. This should be another good resource for them, and we'll hopefully tide you guys over for a little bit with the holidays coming through right now, it is a little bit more difficult to get time to work on this stuff. So we'll do our best, and hopefully I'll be able to have the next tutorial out a little bit sooner. All right, well, I'm running wild. Y'all have a great day.